We all know the stories of Lexington and Concord, and of course, Paul Revere's Ride. But the American Revolution had its beginnings long before that. Not on the battlefields, but in the colony legislatures, and locally in town meetings. Evidence is found all through our town records. Parliament felt that the colonists were a little too independent from their government in London, and also thought that the colonies should be paying more for their defense. They turned up the heat. Lynnfield, as well as the rest of the Mass Bay colony, chafed under the restrictions. Taxes were imposed without local representation. The colony charter was revoked. Eventually, even the civilian governor was replaced by a general. Their frustrations boiled up at these meetings. The first sign of trouble appears in our local records as far back as 1768. On September 16th, citizens were called to a town meeting to discuss the actions of the British government. South Lynnfield's Daniel Mansfield presided, and they chose Ebenezer Burrell to go to a meeting in Boston to talk with others from other towns about their grievances. As more taxes were levied, another town meeting in 1770 voted that we will endeavor to discontinue the use of foreign tea. Things got more serious in 1773. The East India Tea Company sent 3 tea-laden ships to the port of Boston to be unloaded and sold. Of course, the price of this tea included a tax. On December 16th, the very day of the Boston Tea Party, our town meeting voted to protest the landing of the tea. Little did they know that at the exact same time, the Sons of Liberty were taking more strenuous action. They were down at Griffin's Wharf, dumping the tea into the harbor. Not to be outdone, the women of Lynn, we were part of Lynn back in those days, marched into James Bowler's bake shop and demanded that he stop selling the British tea. When he wouldn't, they stripped the shelves bare and dumped it out into the street. After the port bill closed, Boston Harbor, in reaction to the Tea Party, our town acted again, voting to support the people of Boston. Then came the first Essex County meetings in Ipswich, declaring that these acts of Parliament were unconstitutional and did not deserve to be obeyed. On November 15, 1774, pursuant to a resolve by the Provincial Congress, Lynn's North Parish, Lynnfield, voted to form a militia. Let that sink in. This little village of just 25 households effectively created its own small army and was ready to do whatever was necessary to defend the people's rights, even attacking the British regulars if need be. As you know, that very scenario eventually happened. In the next installment, we'll talk about those 3 people from Lynnfield who were killed in the first encounter with the royal troops.